Alright, welcome to the first video on this new channel, strictly for electronics and related to projects. No gaming stuff or anything. There was other stuff I was planning to do for the first video, but just finished moving, so it's not very great. Not a good time to do that sort of stuff. So anyways, first video is this Gicbo BRL Life Technologies Incorporated Model 250 power supply. It is a 250 volt Electrophoresis power supply with selectable voltage and up to 250 milliamps. It was cheap on eBay, listed as for parts not working. First thing I bought off eBay, actually looking for that sort of stuff. There's quite a lot of interesting things actually. So I'm going to keep an eye on that from now on. Anyways, it just said that it didn't have the fuse. As in the back, it is listed as a 1 amp just line voltage fuse. I only have some old 3 amp 250 volt fuses. So I figured I would make do with that. Anyways, yeah, so it works. It's a little bit off from what it's supposed to be, though. The voltage is pretty unstable. Yeah, I guess you can see that all right. It does vary quite a lot. I'm not quite sure what's causing that. But this is on the low range. We're on volts for the screen. We can switch over to milliamps to see how much current this is drawing. I don't have a programmable constant current load, so I can't really test that, but I want to make one at some point. So it's not too bad. I'm thinking maybe I would just need to calibrate this, or there's some adjustment pots inside. And that is the end, so you may notice it's not at 250 volts. Because it has a switch here for a high range, which basically kicks the voltage up, which is quite nice actually. And I was expecting more of a fine-tuned dial, not sort of just like a selection switch. That's not bad, but as you can see, it's in this range it's quite a lot higher, and if we go all the way up to the maximum, where it's supposed to be 250 volts, it reads considerably out and goes all the way up to like 320 volts sometimes for a brief period. And you can see the little bar on the multimeter. It is not a happy camper. It is moving quite a lot. And if I just start this up in a faster mode, yeah, so it's moving around quite a lot. And as far as current goes, yeah, I can't really test the current accurately. But we set this over to here. It actually has a buzzer and a light to alarm you if it's going over a certain amount. And so it's actually drawing 5 amps. It's not happy with that, and it has a buzzer in there. Which is not in the greatest of shape. So I figured I would pop this thing open and take a look at it. First I'll reach over and unplug it. Oh, and that is a hot soldering iron in the way. So yes, I did have a little look at this. It's fairly straightforward to take apart. And you can see inside. And you can see inside there are multiple connections on the circuit board. There are circuit board in the chassis here. If it's a little bit more long enough. And then we down here is the buzzer for the switch. Force group takes away for a little bit more. So yes, I just moved to a new place, and the main fixture in the room only has room for one light bulb, so I'm just trying with a 100 watt equivalent CFL in that fixture. So I'm not sure how the lighting is in this. It's too dark from the back. I can tell, but it might be all right. There's our little buzzer, our banana jack connections, which are also bolted through to that board. So I would probably have to take that apart to actually get this out, which would be a pain. But I do see two little adjustment pots right there. And like I said, I can't quite find the manual for this, but it appears we won't need to go any further. Interestingly, the 7-segment displays seem to be socketed. Yeah, and this transformer is just a direct mount. It's decently worn from drawing like 5 amps from it. The circuit board inside is in very nice shape. I'm seeing all very nice solder joints, no cracks or dry joints or anything like that. And it seems new enough that I would probably use lead-free solder. I'm not sure. I do want to clean the case up. For some reason it says Blau on it, or however you would pronounce that. I'm not sure what that's about. So I suppose the next step would be to see how these adjust it. Okay, what I think I will do is just start this up at 250 and see how the adjustment works. So I'm going to try turning the top trim pot. And that seems to be adjusting this display. So the bottom one I'm hoping will adjust the voltage. Actually, does this affect the milliamps display as well? Still trying the top one. Doesn't look like it. And I have left this running and it's still unstable like that. This seems to also be... This might be a fine adjust for the display, actually. And a coarse adjust doesn't seem to have anything to do with the voltage. That is strange. Very strange. See, the problem is the voltage is moving around so much, I can't really calibrate this to a point where it would be accurate. Which is what I would like. I would like this to be a nice, really accurate 250 volt power supply. So I'm thinking I will have to take the board out and inspect that. I don't have an ESR tester, but maybe there are some caps not filtering out noise as they should, or something like that, which is causing it to be unstable. We shall see. Okay, so time to take this apart. Interestingly, the The dial for this is keyed, but the knob for it, but the I'm not sure what we would call it. Just the adjustment knob is not. So I don't know if you just just have it straight in the middle then, on low and high. Let's move all those screws and stuff into this. And the stuff is not crimped on or anything. Okay, so it looks like I will need to desolder those, which is a bit of a pain, but we shall see. Oh yeah, don't do this when it's turned on, because my fingers are touching pretty much both the negative and positive of the high voltage. It might hurt a little bit if it was on. Oh, okay, hold on a second. Looks like I might have to take these switches off too, which is a huge pain in the ass. Come on. Come on. Ah, forget that for now. The inside is fairly clean, dust-free. It's just the outside has gotten pretty nasty over the years. Oh, hey, you know what? This is just a faceplate, so I do not need to unscrew or desolder those connections, which is nice. Although in the scheme of things, these three switches look like they will have to be desoldered, which, like I said, is a bit of an annoyance. And they also aren't using very, very, I don't know, large wires for the mains voltage which is going in. But this thing is only made to put out 250 milliamps, so I guess that's not too bad. Yeah. Actually, you know what? These black surrounds might actually be separate from the switch. I'm not sure, but it does look a little like that. So it looks like we need to undo the two screws on the transformer now. Those are decently thick wires coming from the transformer, but I wouldn't want to put too much on them. It's interesting, though. I haven't seen anything that has a transformer directly mount to a circuit board like that. And there are some taps coming off the back here. 4 wires out the back there. So I might replace that buzzer with something more modern. something that doesn't sound so horrible. Well, I'm not sure I would really exceed 250 milliamps with this. Maybe if I'm trying to charge a capacitor. I would have to see. Okay, yep, and it just comes off like so. And so that would actually be good for cleaning this off. I'm thinking maybe one of those magic erasers would work to take the marker and the horribly disgusting, now that I look at it, gunk on it. I'll wash my hands before I eat anything. So here we have the bulk of it. First thing we have here is a 5-volt regulator. We have a TC710 7CPL 9220 ABK. That looks like the main processor, our microcontroller. Here we have our main multi-selection switch. Looks like we have a small bridge rectifier here. A resistor wire round that looks suspiciously like it is heated up a bit. Based on the coloring of that, hold on a second. It does look like it's overheated a little bit. That capacitor is worth testing, a nice axial one. You don't see those often, but I do quite like the look of those. And it is a NC branded one. I'm not sure what that is. And here we have our little 7-segment displays, which may not be socketed after all. Doesn't feel like it actually. So that might just be a spacer to protect the pins. You could probably find something to replace this if I can. I probably would, because it is fairly crusty on the inside. And there are the adjustment pots for an unknown use. So yeah, I guess the first thing I will check is that little that looks to be a resistor, to see if that's good or not. I mean, it's in circuit, but I am reading 0.78 ohms on that, which, I mean, doesn't look good. I will want to desolder one lead off of that before I test it further. That's a 1000 microfarad capacitor. I really need to get an ESR meter. That would really be nice to have. Let's do a test of this. Although it is 1000 microfarad, it might take a really long time. Yeah, I'm gonna lift the lead on that and test it out. Yeah, that one resistor does look suspect, though. And I'm not sure what it was supposed to be. I mean, if I could find a manual for this, find a manual and find like a schematic, and we can see what value that is supposed to be. I mean, I can read a little bit off of it. Looks like there's some writing, some like marking on the back of it as well. I'm not sure what that is for. And here we have our buzzer. Could just replace that with one out of like a computer from the looks of it. And yeah, there's that transformer. It actually has more taps coming out the back and the front, which is fairly interesting. And this little device here is a Motorola LM339N. And then we have a little resistor network beside it. A few small capacitors. These are probably 1 microfarad ones right here. Yeah, so it all looks pretty good except for that resistor. I will look into that more, and I have no clue if this has been out of focus this whole time. I am so sorry. I did not know that. Okay, so I've lifted a lead on that resistor. I'm just going to probe it now. I'm getting 1.03 ohms. It's dropping now though, 0.93, 0.88. It seems to be 0.8 ohms, which I'm not sure. I haven't heard of a resistor like that. But I am going to trace, find the find where a schematic or manual. I'm going to try to find that for this, and hopefully I can find a find out to what value that is supposed to be, because it does look kind of weird, but I haven't seen many wire-wound resistors in my time, but that, I don't know, it looks kind of weird, and it does have like a little hole in it. May just be from manufacturing, I do not know. But we shall see.